Baходir, Jalolov taking on Brendon, Barrett. Heavyweights next here on Broadway Boxing.
To knock
impressive
down,
foul, yeah.
Impressive with one punch like that.
I was going to say, in theory, it was just one punch.
Yeah. Overhand right?
But we still, let's talk early. You know, earlier I mentioned, and you guys thought I was a little too hard on it, I mentioned about celebration. And I'll tell you why I think that. Errol Spence Jr. Steve, you've seen, and because you've seen most of Errol Spence fights, right? How many times have he ever jumped up and down? He went over to England.
That's not his personality.
But he went over to England, his biggest fight. If you're talking excitement, his biggest fight.
Yeah, that's where he got on.
No, he didn't. He just got on rope.
Yes.
He did that.
Yes.
But he didn't jump up and I asked him, I said, you're right, Steve, that's your personality. I said, Errol, that was the time to get excited. He told me, why? I knew he couldn't beat me. So that's what I mean. You only get surprised if you don't think you can win. He told me, he said, why? He couldn't beat me.
Fellas, for this title matchup,
fighters have so few chances to win in the ring.
Making his way to the blue corner
when they do win,
from Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey, brutal,
especially if they're playing off the
Brendon
fans.
Barrett.
Hometown, it's Broadway Boxing. It's back in New York City.
So in other words, both of you are telling me shut up.
Is that Scrooge?
Yeah. I'm not saying stop being a Grinch.
I'm taking my ibuprofen and shutting up, all right?
And Steve really is taking drugs here ringside.
I'm playing hurt, guys. Brendon Barrett circling the ring, a guy who has made a living as a boxer and an MMA artist.
And his undefeated opponent, making his way to the red corner from Tashkent, Uzbekistan, Bahadir Jalolov.
It depends on what Jalolov brings to the table tonight, in my opinion, in this fight.
As we're waiting for Jalolov, this is a fighter who was the #1 ranked heavyweight, super heavyweight, in the amateurs in the world in 2017.
Yeah, right before his pro debut.
He's a big guy, though.
Let me tell you something. If he wasn't here, you would think he'd be at Madison Square Garden with the Knicks. Lord knows they need help.
They could use him.
Well, they got rid of the other big guy. Cantor, right?
They're hoping they get that Zion.
All Zion gonna do for the Knicks is sell a little more tickets.
And if they can get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to come with
wishful thinking. I'm gonna had a whole campaign to convince the whole world LeBron was coming the first time. And LeBron decided to take his talents to South Beach.
He did. There he is, the 6'7" giant from Uzbekistan, now training out of Los Angeles.
Over the top rope.
Well, both fighters are in the ring. We get the official introduction from Mark Fratto.
Ladies and gentlemen, the action continues here in New York City. This is Broadway Boxing on UFC Fight Pass. Our co-featured contest is scheduled for 6 rounds and will be contested for the vacant Junior NABF Heavyweight Championship. It's brought to you by DeBella Entertainment and Fight Promotions and presented by Nissan of Queens, Azad Watches, Optics, Christo Steakhouse, and Gallardi Insurance. This contest is sanctioned by the North American Boxing Federation. The president is Greg Hubble. The supervisor in the ring is Jill Diamond. The judges scoring this contest are John Basili, Robert Perez, and Jim Pierce. And controlling the action at the sound of the bell, the referee in charge is Earl Brown. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 234 pounds even. As a professional, his record stands with 7 victories, 2 defeats, and 2 draws. 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Wearing black this evening, he hails from Ventura, California, by way of Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, brutal Brandon Barrett! His undefeated opponent fights out of the red corner. He weighed in at 244.5 pounds. As a professional, his record stands with 5 contests, 5 victories, all 5 coming by way of knockout. Wearing red this evening from Tashkent, Uzbekistan, now Indio, California. Please welcome a 2016 Olympian, the big Uzbek, Baходир Jalolov.
All right, gentlemen, you receive your instructions in the dressing room. I expect a clean, professional fight. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves if you want. All right.
This one is scheduled for 6. Baходir Jalolov, unbeaten, 4 fights, 4 knockouts. Brandon Barrett.
He's actually 5-0, I believe, with 5 knockouts.
Brandon Barrett out of Los Angeles, first time fighting here in New York City. Took the fight on 2 days' notice. He said, listen, I hit hard.
That's what he said?
That's what he said.
Well, the tricky part about this is Barrett, his one shot is to get close and rough up Jalolov.
He just took a hard left.
But the problem is Jalolov can punch.
Yes, he can.
And he don't mind fighting on the inside.
Well, you said Barrett's got to get on the inside. He certainly tried to, as blood is already coming from the nose of Barrett from that left hand of Jalolov.
Brandon Barrett said from the moment he got the phone call to replace Jalolov's original opponent.
Well, it was 6'10".
Till now. Yeah, that's right. The original opponent, 6'10". Less than 48 hours from the time he got the phone call till getting in the ring.
That's it. Took another left hand. That one stunned Barrett.
See, that's the thing. He needs to get close. But getting close, he's going to get hit. In that 6'7", 245 pounds. Well, we were just talking about his previous opponent who decided to say no go when he saw a tape of Jalolov.
Blood is leaking from the nose of Barrett, and Earl Brown's going to call a timeout.
Yeah, blood is coming out.
Earl Brown gives them both, says, hey, let's clean it up a little bit. Here we go.
But give Barrett credit. He's winging it. So he's from L.A.
Minute left here in round 1. Jalolov, 84-13 as an amateur, 4-time national champion, and Steve pointed out was ranked #1 in the amateurs before his pro debut. He has not gone past basically 4 rounds.
And I said it comes down to what he brings to the table. I didn't think 1 round. I thought maybe 2 rounds.
His last fight, he stopped Willie Harvey in the 2nd round back on March 15th in California.
Yeah, I didn't think 1 because he's not that
There's another
nice
left.
straight left hand.
Stuns Barrett again, and he goes down.
And Earl Brown waves it off.
Waves it off. And Jalolov has himself a 1st round stoppage. Here's the look here at the stoppage.
Well, watch the long left hand of Jalolov. Barrett had his hands up. He pulled with the jab, threw that straight left hand. And Barrett said, you know what? I'm getting out of here. He went down, took that knee. He took an unnecessary punch as he was down, but Earl Brown, you know, in essence, doing a towel for him because he waved it off.
And that's the hard thing, especially when you see the height disparity between these two. Especially if you're Barrett. How can you get in and do any work on a guy that's this tall?
Right, to get in is dangerous. So what do you do? And as a fighter, you want to get in there, you want to fight. But for strategy, what's the strategy? Do I get close? Do I stay outside and let him come at me? It's a lose-lose no matter how he lays it out. Because if you lay on the outside, you see the long hands, the long arms, that long left hand, drop them. If you go inside, he get clipped coming inside.
Let's get the official time of this stoppage. Here's Mark Fratto.
Based on information provided by the doctor at ringside, the referee in charge, Earl Brown, calls for a halt to this contest. Your official time, 2 minutes 45 seconds in round number 1. Your winner by TKO, still undefeated, and the new junior NABF heavyweight champion, the Big Uzbek, Baходir Jalolov.
Still unbeaten. He's representing his home flag, Uzbekistan. He represented his homeland in the 2016 Olympic Games. He, of course, was the flag bearer and the opening ceremonies. 24 years old, has a master's degree in sports science, and has a really good future, it seems, here in boxing. Let's go up into the ring with the winner. Here's our Steve Farhood.
All right, we have Team Jalolov here, including promoter Lou DiBella. Can you tell us, the first, Alec will translate, the first opponent was supposed to be 6'10". Instead, he fought someone much shorter than him. Was there any kind of adjustment in training, or did he have time to adjust?
Соперник, который выше тебя на 10 сантиметров. Были ли какие-то, это была смена в последний день, то есть были ли для тебя какие-то трудности в изменении соперника?
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, opponent. Я думаю, вот тяжело. Мне не тяжело было. Я себя хорошо чувствую. Спасибо всем, спасибо за помощь.
To me, it doesn't matter, big or small guy. I feel great. I was ready for the fight, and I want to thank everyone for coming here to support the boxers, not just me, but all the boxers. And thank you to my promoter for giving me these opportunities to fight in New York in the Mecca of boxing.
Thank you. Let me bring in Lou DiBella, the promoter of Jalolov. You have a heavyweight who's gigantic and can punch. You don't really need that much more in the heavyweight division.
No, he can punch, but he can also move around the ring, and he's a smart fighter. He expected to fight a guy that was 6'10" with a 10-2 record from New England, and literally without an injury, without anything, probably just looking at some videotape, that opponent didn't show up, did not get on his.
Might happen again.
It might happen again. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we found this guy in the gym preparing for a fight, but obviously he went from 6'10" to looking down at his opponent. But look, he's had hundreds of amateur fights. He's one of the best in the world. He, as an amateur, before turning pro, he was #1 in the world at amateur. He's a favorite in the next Olympics to win a gold medal for Uzbekistan because he's competing amateur while fighting professional as the rules allow. I think that he can be heavyweight champion of the world.
Jalolov, a fighter we saw turn pro on Broadway boxing, and now he gets another spectacular knockout win. Thank you, congratulations. We'll see you again.
Спасибо всем. I love Uzbekistan.
The English is getting better, Brian.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Along with Lou DiBella.
Well, that's the key with the new rule, and they're taking advantage of it over in Europe. You can fight amateur and pro. So he's going to go to the Olympics. It's going to be a little adjustment for him because of the 3 rounds. But he has that punching power, so I don't think the rounds will matter.
And the good thing is that the heavyweight division has got some talent coming in. And we always know when you talk about boxing, when the heavyweight division is good, so is the sport of boxing.
Yeah, because the heavyweights, no matter what, is going to bring out the interest level, or bring up the interest level. So, a lot of talent here tonight. Beat us,